All right, we saved the best for last. Lamar Jackson. We don't know yet. We all know that he was not. He was the franchise tag was placed on him on a non-exclusive, so he can talk with other teams. Do you think? And this was early on. This was probably a week or two ago when they officially placed the non-exclusive tag on Lamar Jackson. But do you think there are certain owners that are colluding just because they don't want to give a quarterback or a player fully guaranteed money?
That's another thing I've been going back and forth about. You know what I'm saying? And I can see it simply because they don't nobody wanted to give out $200 million fully guaranteed. I get it. I totally get it. Now, you know what I mean. My whole thing is, and another thing in Lamar Jackson, in former MVP. But again, let's just keep it. He's not as a passer. He's not, of course, he's not Joe Burrow, and he's not Mahomes. He has his own specific set of skills Lamar Jackson has. So is he? Will I give him $200 million? I heard he turned it down last year. I heard he turned down almost $200 million last year. I don't know if that was true or not. So it wasn't as much as Deshaun Watson deal. And of course, he wanted to exceed his Watson's deal, but you know what I mean. I don't. It's hard to say, man. I don't. It's hard to It's hard to say, but at the same time, I can't say that if I'm an owner, I don't want to give out $200 million to one person on my team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but if I'm a player, I understand what Lamar Jackson's feeling too. I went out here and I bust my butt for y'all, and it just the Browns set a bad precedent with that $200 million, $230, I believe it was. You know what I mean? And I was kind of hearing this, last year, from owners. Well, I can say from owners like I talked to them. You know what I'm saying? But people were reporting to owners that they didn't like the deal, but my whole thing is, let's see how Joe Burrow deal works. Let's see how Herbert deal works. Let's see if their contracts are fully guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Because then if their contracts are fully guaranteed, then we know some stuff in the game. You know what I'm saying? But right now, for me, I'm gonna say no, simply because I'm gonna say yeah in the aspect of no one of us can get paid $200 million and fully guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So I can see, I can definitely see some back channel calls, and I can see it. I don't want to say that, but I can see it though. I can see it, especially NFL, man. NFL is so kind of, I always say, man, I love the football, but I hate the NFL, man. Because NFL, it's a lot of shadiness in the NFL, man. We see a lot of us coming out and a lot of stuff we still don't know. So yeah, I can see it. I can see it just solely because no one wants to pay nobody $200 million guaranteed, and I can see that. I can stand it, But like I say, I just want to see how Joe's contract is handled, how Herbert's contract is handled. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's Daniel Jones, but he didn't deserve that type of money. But I just want to see how these other guys are treated when their contracts are coming out, and see if it's the same type of energy. Well, you know what I'm saying, with Lamar, because Lamar, he's been hurt a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? And we can't dismiss that fact that he's been hurt. You know what I'm saying? And the way he plays, it's very easy he could get hurt again. You know what I'm saying? But every quarterback can be hurt. But yeah, I can see a little bit of collusion going on just because I don't think nobody wants to give out $200 million guaranteed. So now I can see that. I can see it.
What I think there are certain teams, the teams that are looking for quarterbacks, I think they are colluding because they just don't want to give that fully guaranteed contract. I honestly don't think Lamar Jackson was offered $200 million. I think that was just a rumor. Now he did tweet that said, or he did mention a tweet that he was offered $133 million fully guaranteed
this year. Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal, but for a former MVP, I can see where Lamar says, you know what, I deserve at least $200 million guaranteed. And I bet if a team gave him $200 million, he probably would say yes. But at the same time, it all comes down, he wants the Deshaun Watson deal. And we all know that Lamar Jackson has gotten hurt the last 2 years, but at the same time, Deshaun Watson, who got the fully guaranteed deal, had more of injury concerns because he had been injured more than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been injured the last 2 years, but he had no injury history at college. no injury history in high school. There was
Right.
nothing problem with that. And he
Right.
doesn't have any off the field problems like
Right.
Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson did.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a former MVP, a former 2-time Pro Bowler, an all pro.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. And he led the league in touchdown passes one year, even though we've always figured that, oh, he's not the best passer, but I mean, he led the league in passing one year with not great receivers. I mean, he had a decent receiver, but then they traded him away, and now he's
Hollywood Brown. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he was turning into his own in 2021 after having over 1,000 yards, and then they dealt him to the Cardinals. So at the same time, I mean, I understand owners don't want to give up that money, but just the way they mentioned it right away, where they're like, oh, Lamar Jackson's going to be placed in the non-exclusive franchise tag. Oh, we're not interested. I mean, and the Panthers would rather give up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and their best receiver for a quarterback that might not be a Lamar Jackson. If you get for Lamar Jackson, yes, he's going to be expensive, but he's going to be worth it. And you don't have to give up DJ Moore, and you only have to give up 2 first-round picks. And all of a sudden, you're a contender. And it just, I mean, I'm just surprised by the way they did it. And the Falcons at the same time were like, oh, we're not interested. We'll sign Taylor Heineke. I always want to say Tyler, but it's Taylor. The Commanders, I know they have their problems, but to keep Sam Howell and then go out and sign Jacoby Brissett, it's strange. And I think they are colluding.